This is
the local music revolution. The local music revolution. 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 Local. Hello and welcome to the Local Music Revolution. I am your host, Ogre. This week we have the band Silo Cell featured on the podcast. The cool story about this podcast is this is the interview that initiated the intro music that I've been using since the 4th of July special. So, what I did was I actually left the offer that Ben gave me in the interview so that you can kind of see how that worked. You can see how the intro was, he offered, and we talked about how I kind of wanted to have a different intro. About 5 hours after this interview, I got an email from Ben containing what I would hear for the first time as the new intro music for the Local Music Revolution. That's what you've been hearing in the intro piece since the 4th of July special. I debuted it, a whole new month, a whole new intro, and I think that was amazing. And I've been trying to promote Silo Cell as much as I can since then, because Ben was such a great guy, so fun to talk to, and he offered to do the intro music and let me have the rights to use it. I found Silo Cell on Facebook. I really like the name of the band, so that's what got me to look them up. When they put out Slit, I was sold. I immediately was just so happy to hear them. It was like a breath of fresh air to me, because I'm a huge fan of Fear Factory and Static X and Coal Chamber and kind of those weird electronic metal mixed bands. And it was really a great thing to hear the fact that California is producing a band like Silo Cell that's just a home-based studio putting out really, really great sounding music that in fact is that kind of industrial metal sound. I really, really love what Mike and Ben are doing with Silo Cell, and I'm really, really a fan of Ben's taste in music. His is almost parallel to mine with a couple of key differences. I mean, it is subjective. Music is wonderful that way, and we have different likes, but in the end, we both really, really enjoy metal. Before I get too much into this, I want to let you guys know, again, Stringjoy.com sponsors the podcast. They're an amazing company out of Nashville, Tennessee that makes custom strings, and they are just amazing to their clients and their artists. So if you're interested in getting custom strings, all you have to do is go to Stringjoy.com, go through, explain to them what strings you want. Explain what you're going for. If you have gauges in mind, I'm pretty sure that they're really, really willing on hearing that, or they can suggest new gauges for you. When you're done with that and you're happy with the string set, go to the checkout, and when you're done, enter promo code LOCAL, that's LOCAL, and you'll get a discount for being an amazing listener to the Local Music Revolution. As always, you can contact the Local Music Revolution at facebook.com/the Local Music Revolution, on Twitter at TLMR, and on Instagram at the Local Music Revolution. You can also go to thelocalmusicrevolution.wordpress.com. There you will see all of the newest information as it's posted, and you will see all of the new interesting things I'm trying out. If you like them, let me know. If you don't, let me know. I really, really want to hear you guys' opinions on the things that I'm releasing. As always, thank you guys so much for the support. You guys have been amazing so far. This is episode 33, and there are so many more that are in the backlog. So, without any further ado, this is Silo Cell. And I'm here with Ben from Silo Cell. How are you doing, man?
Doing great, Andrew. How are you, brother? Thank you for having me on your show, man.
Well, thank you for showing up. Thank you for being so patient with me. Today's just not been my day, and yeah, it's been terrible. So you're in a project. I actually don't remember how I found you guys. I saw the name and I was like, that's really interesting. So I started following you guys, and you put out your song, and I was like, that I have to get that on my show. So,
yeah, dude. Yeah, it's a good song. You know, we work really hard on it and stuff, and I'm glad you like it, brother.
Yeah, it's really. I've said this before. Like, the podcast is for all music. There's no genre barriers, because I think that's nonsense. But I grew up on metal, and I am a fan, and I am a diehard metal fan. And hearing what you guys are doing, it took me back to like Fear Factory and like that industrial metal kind of phase, and it's really cool to hear that in this day and age. So can you tell me how you guys got together and formed this project?
Sure. Well, basically, I've been out on a hiatus musically for a while, and I've been wanting to do a metal project. And one of my old buddies that I was in a band with back in, since we were 15, I'm 30 now, so it was many years ago.
Wow.
We wanted to get a project together, and we basically started demoing stuff in my home studio here. And we kind of took the approach of kind of like what you were mentioning earlier, Fear Factory. My guitar player is a huge Fear Factory, early 90s kid. And me too. And I'm into industrial music. I love Nine Inch Nails and Skinny Puppy and Ministry. Yes. So we kind of thought, hey, let's just, get this record together and fuck it, I'll program all the drums. Mike played all the guitar and bass. I did the vocals and all the synth and everything on it. So, it was a pretty easy process. We just recorded it out of the room. So
that is awesome, man. And there are so many talking points in just that little section. So you talk about Fear Factory and Ministry being really big influences on you. What albums from Fear Factory were actually influential on you guys?
The Holy Grail of Fear Factory is obviously Obsolete. That's my favorite. Well, one of my favorite records from Fear Factory, and Archetype is probably like my second favorite. Demanufacture is a great record. But out of those three records, probably Obsolete is going to be like the best record from Fear Factory, hands down. And also Mike, my guitar player, that's his favorite record, metal record of all time. So,
see, for me, Fear Factory's pinnacle was Digimortal.
Digimortal's a good record, man. I remember when that record came out.
Oh my goodness, man! I heard Lynchpin for the first time. I can't even tell you when, but ever since that song, I was like, Fear Factory is one of the best metal bands I've heard. Raymond Herrera he's a monster on the drums, man. Jeez.
Yeah, Raymond Herrera is definitely a great drummer. He's that double kick beast, man.
He's so precise. He's a machine. Like, he truly is a machine. There's only like one or two other drummers on the planet right now that I consider as good as him, and one of them's Glenn Helgen. But that guy, he was in Testament and Death and all those things. Sorry. But yeah, man, it's so good to see that Fear Factory is still reaching people, and the influences are still there, and you can hear them, because what they were doing was so prominent and so innovative. Is your vocal style based on Burton, or is it
no, that's just basically something I developed. I'm a big fan of Bess Farah from Coal Chamber and Devil Driver.
Yeah.
He's always been an influence to me ever since. I remember when I first heard the self-titled record of the Coal Chamber record.
Oh,
like it's just his lyrics and his cadences kind of just blew me away. And Fear Factory. I'm a huge Max Cavalera, like Soulfly, Sepultura for sure.
Oh yes. Again, man, you are a guy after my own heart, because I just got the new Coal Chamber CD and I'm stuck on it, man. That CD from top to bottom, left to right, its center, everything about that CD is amazing. And I'm a huge Max fan. I love everything Max has done. And oh man, have you heard Kill or Be Killed?
Dude, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, no, yeah, I have heard "Kill or Be Killed," and I think it's amazing stuff. Like, all those guys from all those different bands coming in and making that record. Actually, my guitar player showed me that record last summer, and we were kind of jamming it. And I was just blown away by that record. Like, it's all good stuff,
Oh yes, man. I heard that Troy Sanders and Max Cavalera were in the same band, and I was like, sold. Just take the money, give me the CD. That's going to be mine. And
yeah, Troy, he's in Mastodon, so
yeah.
I mean, their stuff is phenomenal too, and he just has a unique, vocal, and his bass skills are pretty awesome also. And you get Max, in there, and I'm not sure what band the drummer's from.
It's one of those bands. I think it's like the Mars Volta or
something like that.
Yeah, and like he played for the Mars Volta, and then he comes out with this. I'm like, man, this guy knows how to play the drums. Like, that is incredible. It's really, really good to see that, because I would have never pegged him as a metal drummer. So it's really cool.
I was actually on YouTube and a couple months back, and they played that for their first show.
Oh, yes.
When I was listening to this stuff, I was like on the record. I was like, are they gonna be able to pull this stuff off live? And then I think I was in Blabbermouth or something. I don't know. And I seen a article, and it had a bunch of videos of them all playing live, and man, they were on point.
They were,
man.
Bad.
It was pretty cool stuff, man.
Yeah, and they did it in Australia of all places. I was. Why in Australia? Why couldn't you do it like in California where I could see it?
Yeah, for sure, huh?
Yeah, it's terrible. So let's get back to your music, man. I'm sorry that was a tangent. All right, so you and your buddy, your buddy Mike, you guys decided to get together in your home studio and record. So what is the idea behind Silo Cell?
Well, the Silo Cell, and this is the thing, when everybody starts a project, you try to come up with a name, and we were sitting, or we were writing one day, and we're just like, man, we got to come up with a name. And like I was telling you earlier, me and Mike, we go way back, 15 years. He was in my first band with me back when we were kids, and we always wanted to do something after, because he kind of stopped playing for a while, and I went on and started doing other musical projects, and then, we kind of hooked back up, and back in the day, we actually had a song called Silo Cell,
Nice.
We were just sitting there, and we were thinking about, like, the old significant stuff, and, we were like, hey, band names are hard to come across, it sounds cool, and it's just a cool metal name, so, the music will basically create the meaning of the name of the band, you know what I mean?
Nice, man. That's
it's kind of like Jonathan Davis from Korn when he was asked, well, what is the significance from Korn? And he's like, absolutely nothing, and the music definitely made Korn awesome.
Yeah.
So
I really dig that. They actually started that whole unconventional name thing, and it's really cool. So Silo Cell had no real meaning other than it was a song title. So what is your guys' objective in the band? What is there a statement you're trying to make, or are you just trying to make really, really good music?
We're just trying to make good music, and if there's any statement, the listener can, project that. I always like that about music. Back I grew up in the age of where, you went to a record store and you bought a CD, and you kind of just like had a tangible item, and you busted open the shrink wrap, and you took out the notebook, and you read along with the lyrics, and you smelled it, and you held it in your hand.
Oh yes.
And that's the thing about kids nowadays, and anybody who's downloading MP3s, which there's totally nothing wrong with. I do a lot too, but I just loathe for those days, where you can go in and get a new record and read those lyrics, and you fall in love with it, because you're stuck with it, and you have to go, versus if you just download a song and you don't listen to the rest of the record, and you just move on, and all that other stuff just kind of gets lost. But we're just trying to do that, just put music out that people will like, in the genre. So,
yeah. You have a point there, though. I mean, it's it's really a lost art going to a record store and getting a CD and being able to sit there and just analyze those lyrics that first day. Like, I try to get on opening day, release day, whatever you want to call it. I try to get the CD, physical CD, because that's how I grew up, man. Like, when I was a kid, there was no internet. There was, music, and that should be preserved.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. And it's just like all those great records from the '90s. I was a '90s kid. I grew up, and when all that great stuff was coming out,
yeah,
all the Fear Factory records, and Trent from Nin was coming out with all those records, and
man,
and that was just a very fertile time in music. Like everybody in that time fell in love with the music. Well, for me, because I'm just '90s, I'm just speaking for my generation, but yeah, it's not like that anymore. My younger sister, I kind of see what she's listening to and what she's listening to, and she's not in depth and in tune with it like we were when we were growing up.
No. My brother's the same way. Like, he grew up with me and he knows how much I love music, and he was around that, but he does not have the understanding of music the way that I do. It's just, something there for him. It's not like a lifestyle and something that you need like it's me. Have you seen like similarities between like the 2000s and the 90s? Because I was a 2000s kid. Like, one of the first CDs I bought for myself was Drowning Pool Sinner.
Yeah, no, that yeah, man. I was probably, I probably got into metal. I've been into metal, but like seriously got into it like '97, '98.
Oh,
kind of like
nice.
my transitioning. Because I grew up, listening to like a lot of '70s rock, because my dad liked Aerosmith and Peter Frampton and all that stuff. So I always grew up, and then as I got older, my teenagers, I kind of went through that Nothing Records thing, with Manson and Trent, and on that record, they all had great artists on there. And then it's just like metal, it's always been there for me, from Sabbath to whatever.
Yes, I completely understand, man. So going back to your music and everything, how does the process for your writing work? Do you guys use the internet to send the ideas back and forth, or do you guys like sit down and jam out a song?
Yeah, we just jam out, and the cool thing about the whole thing is me and Michael live together. So,
oh, wow.
So it's really convenient. Yeah, I actually moved away for a while back in 2012. I moved to the East Coast, and I moved back last summer. And
nice.
Me and Mike got a place together, and we were like, what, let's make this record. Let's do it, because we've been talking about it for so long. We're kind of picking up where we left off, like, I don't know, I'm going to say 9 years ago. Basically the way it goes is just, Mike would write some riffs, and, we'll sit down and we'll just kind of, hash it out, just hash out the ideas and bounce, and then the water just starts flowing, and
nice.
Then we'll lay the meat tracks down, I'll put some drums, just some backing drums in there, and then I kind of just sit down, and I just kind of, start structuring it and just kind of, doing my synth parts and, getting definitive drums in there,
Yeah.
It's a daunting task, but, when you're only two people writing a record, which, we wanted to get other people involved, but it's very hard to find people that are on the same mind frame as you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That want to do the same thing. Not everybody wants to do, what we're doing, with electronic music incorporated into industrial stuff, basically.
So when you're writing the synth part, that's one of the things that always eluded me, is not understanding like how to come up with the synth parts or how to structure them and put them into the song. Is there a special thing that you're just like, this is how this is done, or is it just a feeling that you get and you just have the experience to put it in there?
It just comes natural when I'm writing on the synth parts. We'll do the structure. I can kind of hear what I want to do. It just comes,
Nice. That's awesome, because like I said, man, it's always eluded me, and I never understood why. But hey, time will only tell. So you're writing the record and everything. How far are you into the record?
We're pretty much like 90% done. The song that we have posted now is just a rough, one of the rough mixes that's going to be actually on the record. I'm just basically the music's all done. Just basically finishing up the mastering aspect of it, because I'm just doing it all out of my home studio.
Yeah.
And so we're not in any rush right now or anything. Plus, we're still in rehearsal mode because we're kind of like finishing the record and then rehearsing with our drummer right now to start playing it live soon.
So when you're programming these songs and you're writing these songs, does the process of actually translating it live come into play, or how are you guys going to work that with the electronic elements?
Oh, okay. That's pretty easy. When we do the live acts, basically I'll be doing the vocals and playing synths. I'm going to have some backing tracks going. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to play everything on the keyboards.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have them as backing tracks through Ableton.
Nice.
So yes, some of them. And there's some parts that break in the music where we like on some of our songs, there's cool synth solos and stuff. Just kind of broaden the live. When you go to a local show, there's not any singers that I know in metal bands that are singing metal and singing, and then jamming on the synths. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So going back to your influences, I noticed in the song that you growl, I believe would be the term, but you also sing. Does that go back to Fear Factory and your influences, or is that something that you consciously made an effort to do?
We weren't trying to sound like Fear Factory or anything. These are just the music's just basically, when we started writing the record, we sat down and just said, hey, whatever sounds good, sounds good. We weren't sitting there saying, throwing a book down on a textbook down, be like, okay, this is 101 recording. This is how it has to be. This is how it has to sound. You know what I mean? We kind of just was like, hey, let's do heavy music, but let's just agree on it. If it sounds good, then we'll keep it. And that's why the workflow has been really great, because that's, especially only two of us, working on the project. But singing, no, it's just something I've always done. I can sing and growl. On that particular song, it was just more of aggressive vocal approach on that one.
So when you're writing your lyrics and you're coming up with the melodies and everything, is there a specific thing that you do? Is there a mindset that you have to be in, or does it also just come naturally and it just flows out of you?
Yeah, that's the one thing is, especially when I write music a lot, is, I'll write and sometimes I'll get stuck, and I'm just like, gosh, and I'm like one of those musicians where it comes out like water. For 2 days I'll be like trying to write and nothing will happen. I'll just shut it down and be like, okay. And then, when I least expect it, I'll just sit down, just like, go in the studio and I'll sit down, and all of a sudden, because we did pre-production on the stuff, so I kind of did pre-pro vocals, and all the lyrics were just coming out. Like on the song you heard right there, they were just coming out. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't something that was forced or something overthought, nothing like that. So.
That is awesome, man. That really is. For me, I've got the whole home studio set up and everything. And last year, most of last year, I was just writing lyrics. I couldn't stop. It just kept coming and coming and coming out. And then it just stopped. And every once in a while I'll sit down and get an idea and I'll be able to write. But, there was just a flood of information. Like, I had 80 sets of lyrics and I had to, whittle that down to things that were actually decent. And, do you have that? Do you have, books of lyrics and ideas that are stored for a rainy day? Or are you just writing for that release?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I'm a musician. I've been musician for 16 years, and I have books and books of lyrics, when I first started playing music, I was probably 14 18, and I wanted to be like everybody else and start playing guitar. And I played guitar for 6 years, and then we were in little local bands, and then we never could find a singer, and I was like, fuck it, I'll sing, and it just worked out great, everybody's like, wow, dude, and then that since I just started writing, and I definitely have a lot of stuff for a rainy day.
Nice.
I have another project too that I'm actually working on. It's not metal, it's all industrial,
wow.
Industrial stuff. So
nice. Do you mean kind of like the whole ministry kind of industrial, or is it something different?
It's not. Yeah, it's like I would say it's like the Skinny Puppy.
Nice.
It's more of that, and I'm a huge Trent fan. Like, I think that guy's a phenomenal musician.
That guy's a genius.
He is. Well, my favorite record, one of my top 5 records, the Downward Spiral is like my favorite record. You know what I mean? That's just a phenomenal record.
I went to this consignment store and I was looking. They have CDs, and anytime there's CDs, I look for CDs because you can find gems in consignment stores. And they had what is it? The Fragile from 9 Inch Nails, and they had the single that accompanied it. So I got 3 discs for like $2, right?
Oh,
and
yeah, dude.
The next day, I go to like the Family Dollar store, and they right there in front they have Pretty Hate Machine for $6, and I was like, dude, this week is 9 Inch Nails week. Like, this is amazing.
Those are 2 great records. That was a very great, intricate record, like the soundtrack. That record, it's a great record.
Yeah.
And Pretty Hate Machine, that's a phenomenal record too. I mean, between the Downward Spiral and Pretty Hate Machine, like those are the 2 I always struggle with to pick my best. But when I think like sonically and the whole package, the Downward Spiral totally delivers it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Downward Spiral was where like 9 Inch Nails actually came into their own. They're just everything about it screamed 9 Inch Nails. With Pretty Hate Machine,
mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know. There's a rawness to it that Downward Spiral didn't have. It's like with many of the debut albums. It's just right there, like it's just raw, and I don't know how to describe it. It's incredible, just on its own.
No, it is. It's a great record, and I've been playing metal for many years, and 5 years ago, in the back of my mind, I've always loved industrial music, and I was just like, I've always wanted to make and collaborate synths and stuff into music, and no one really plays synths, and if they do, they're not into doing that. So about 4 years ago, I just started getting into programming and electronic music and figuring all that stuff out, and trying to collaborate it into music. Another great band that does that besides Fear Factory, which I really like, is Rammstein. They do great stuff too.
Seriously, man, every time you mention a band, it just makes me like you even more.
No, I've seen Rammstein live over in Boston in 2012.
Nice, man.
And dude, the show was it was fucking awesome. It was the best show I've ever seen. The like, you could feel the pyros, like it was crazy. Like, you felt it. You like felt the sweat, and it was phenomenal, dude.
Nice, man. Yeah, my favorite Rammstein CD, I forgot the name of it, but it came out, I believe, in like 2009, and it had damn it, I'll probably have to edit this, but it had the song Pussy on it.
Huh?
And that album right there is just incredible.
Yeah, no, Rammstein's a great band, man. And the cool thing about Rammstein, as I noticed lately too, is they're actually starting to get, like the respect they deserve. I remember those guys have been around since like the mid 90s. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they've been around forever.
A weird thing is about those guys too, man. I didn't know they were hella old. Like, they're old. like not in a bad way, but I'm saying like the singer's like 55.
Yeah, but Till was like an Olympic swimmer. Like that guy is a machine.
Dude, that guy is awesome.
Yeah,
you know
he is.
Yeah, and he actually just came out with a solo project that they released. He's working with a guy from Pain. The name of the band's Till, and it's cool stuff, man. It's an English record.
Oh, dude.
So it sounds similar to Rammstein, but it's him singing in English. It sounds pretty cool.
Nice, man.
You gotta check that out, man.
My wife posted that on my Facebook. She's like, you need to see this. And it's just been a crazy week. I haven't been able to, but as soon as I sit down and watch that, I know it's going to be good. I just know it. Like, I can feel it in my chest that it's going to be good, but I just need to find the time.
Yeah, but...
So yeah, you learned synths. Did you learn that on your own? Did you do the whole YouTube tutorial thing?
Oh,
Did you
no,
read
I mean,
books?
I just when you get into something like that, it's just like when you play any instrument, you got to get in there and you got to rehearse and you got to practice. You know what I mean? And I'm into modular synths. I don't use too many VST plugins. You get a lot of guys who are using these virtual instruments, running off their laptops. But I actually use, real synths to record all this stuff. You try to create all those synths that you hear on that song and all the other songs you hear on the record. I created all those. They're my own sounds and stuff.
So by modular, do you mean like actual instrument that you can manipulate instead of
exactly.
like a plugin?
So basically, you just kind of get the patch chords and you're patching into stuff, and you just kind of get lost a little bit. So.
All right, man. Right now, I'm going to play your song. It's Slit, right?
Yep.
Can you tell me about that song? Anything you can, even if it's just production information. Like, that song's amazing. Like, I want to know stories behind it.
That song was actually the first song that me and Mike did. It came out fairly simple. It's not really an intricate song compared to the other stuff. It's just a straightforward, in-your-face song, and it came out good. You know what I mean? I really don't. Unless you have any questions, if you had any questions that you want to know about it, for the production-wise.
Can you go into the lyrical story that's being stated in the song, or is that something you want to keep to the listener's point of view?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I always like the listener to interpretate that themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you, man.
So.
I got you. Well, then right now I'm gonna play Slit.
All right, brother.
Thoughts in your mind. You don't know yourself. You're the one who's led. It's the thoughts in your mind. You don't know yourself. You're the one who's led. 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 I don't belong inside of you. I don't feel no shame. I don't belong inside of you. I don't feel no shame. I don't belong inside of you. I don't feel no shame. I don't belong inside of you. I don't feel no
So here would be the reintroduction to the song, but me and Ben kind of got into the discussion and I kind of forgot to reinitiate the recording that I do to break up the interview. So that was Slit, the song that you heard from Silo Cell, and this is the middle of the conversation because me and Ben got really excited and started talking about how much we love metal. Man, I completely understand that. Like, every time I go to a metal show, I see exactly what metal is. You know, it's finally being in a place where you can feel like you're not being subjugated or you're not being judged or humiliated because you are different. You actually have people there that know and understand what this is. And, like, I feel more people should understand that, even outside of the metal genre. It needs to be understood. And like, the more I talk to these people, the more I just, like, I want to be in a metal band so I can show them, like, this is metal. This is what's amazing. Yeah, so.
No, it is, you know, and the sad thing about shows, too, that you brought that up, is, you know, no one goes to shows anymore. You know, I mean, because, you know, probably because there's not as many venues as there used to be. You know, I live in the Central Valley, and, you know, all the venues get shut down, you know, and
yeah,
you know, you go to shows, and you know, there's no one comes anymore. You know, it's like, I remember shows growing up, like, you know, going to local shows, and it would just be packed, you know, and everybody's be moving, and I'm like, yeah, this is it, you know, and
yeah.
Now it's like, it's far and in between. Like, you go to a show, and it's just like, you know, and it's not, you know, I don't know if it's the band, I don't know what it is, if it's the promoter not doing their job, I don't know, but it's just like, you know.
The way I see it, man, is the internet's helped musicians, but it's also made us lazy, because there's that whole guerrilla promoting, that jackass on the street that's handing out flyers. Like, that guy, his band's going to get so much of a fan base because he's the one pounding the pavement. Like, he's not just sending out a tweet
pavement,
here and there.
Yeah, but, you know, pounding the pavement, you know, and I was actually just talking to my guitar player, Mike, about this pounding the pavement thing. You know, I used to do that back in the day in a lot of my older bands, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, no one does that anymore. And, you know, it's even necessary. You know, me and Mike were having a discussion about it. It's like, is it necessary with all social networking, you know, from, you know, the Facebooks and the Reverb Nations and everybody getting blown up and bombarded by, you know, hey, check out my band, hey, come to the show, you know. I don't know if that's ruining it, or if everybody just wants to be in the band and play. I don't know what it is anymore. You know?
See, I actually, last night I was listening to a podcast that D. Snyder put out, and D. Snyder's an asshole. But he has really good talking points, and, you know, he was in Twisted Sister, so he kind of has some relevance. And he was talking about the old bands, like, that they would promote in every form of media, not just metal or rock media. They would perform, like, Grand Funk Railroad apparently had a billboard up for 3 years in Times Square, and that's how they got famous, is because people saw their faces in Times Square, you know. And, like, the local bands and everything, they don't have a sense of promotion. They just think, oh yeah, the music's going to carry us. And it should, but the problem is you have to get that music to be shown to people. And
you know, and you're exactly right. And, you know, and being a musician, you know, nowadays it's not just about playing your instrument. You're absolutely right. You know, to be a musician, this is what I came to the realization of it all, bro. Is you have to be able to do everything.
Yeah.
You got to be able to record your own shit. You got to be able to promote yourself. You got to do all your own artwork. You got to be a jack of all trades. And if you can't get someone in your band, you can, because you got to have that one definitive person, you know, unless you're doing a solo act, but you got to have one dude in your band who's like, who can do that. You know, if everybody, you know, everybody can share that, that's great. But you got to do everything yourself, man. You got to be, you know, your own producer, your own critic, your own thing. You know, and you got to go out and, like you were saying, and promote yourself. You know.
Yeah.
You definitely do the proper way, not just going on Facebook and spamming your page and begging people to like it. You know.
Yeah, man. And when I decided to start this podcast, one of the things that I really decided on doing is when I promote or when I use this like as a business model, it's going to be promoted as a band and it's going to be run as a band would be. Like, that's what I know, that's how I work, and that's how I've gotten to know everybody that I have and interview everybody I have, is because I've run this podcast like a band or like a musician. And it's hard. It's so hard because you have to make every conversation into a business opportunity, and it's incredibly difficult to make people care about your project as much as you do. That's the entirety of your goal, and it's so hard this day and age to make the people care. Have you actually? How have you been promoting the project?
You know, right now we're, you know, I haven't really promoted it that much. You know, we made the pages, you know, the 1, 2, 3s, the Facebook, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We haven't done any promotion yet. You know, because I'm just kind of waiting to figure out what we're going to do to release it, and, you know, the live show, you know, then that's where all the promotion is going to come out, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like what I was just telling you a little bit ago when me and Mike were talking about the pounding the pavement thing, because that's what we're actually talking about. We're like, well, hey, you know, when we do our first show, let's book it at a good venue with good local acts, and you know, we were like, do you need to pound the pavement? Do we make flyers? You know, so those are things you got to think about, you know. And we came to the conclusion that, yeah, you know, why not? You know what I mean? We're going to go up to a stop sign and boom, slap the sticker and a flyer. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, man. And it's a lost art, too. Like, that right there, if you had the right mindset, that guerrilla promoting, that could have been a great time. You could have just had a blast with it. And it's really sad that it's gone by the wayside, because that right there, that made a lot of the bands. Like, going back, Coal Chamber, I recently saw, with their new album, they put out a DVD, and they were talking about, Dez was talking about him being on Sunset Boulevard, actually giving out flyers and getting people to go to the shows. And, like, Coal Chamber is Coal Chamber, man. Like, they're really big.
You know, not too many people like that band. You know, I guess that's just, you know, I love that band. You know, Dez is like my influence vocally, you know, and Max, but, man, his lyrics are so awesome. They're just badass lyrics. If you ever just read the lyrics off any of the Devil Driver records, like the self-titled Devil Driver record and the Fury of Her Maker's Hand, phenomenal. Last 9 words, dude. That record was fucking awesome. Now the others, like the Beast and Pray for Villains, I didn't get into those records as much as I should have. I listen to them once in a while, but man, the first 3 Devil Driver records, bro, especially the self-titled one.
Oh yeah.
Badass.
Yeah, man. I actually got into. I heard I Could Care Less on MTV2 back when they played music, and I was like, "That's Dez now. This is going to be incredible." And then I didn't hear anything really until Fury of Our Maker's Hand, and I picked it up and I was like, I have to have this." Like, it was just an innate sense that I had to have it, and I put it in the CD player, and from beginning to end, I fell in love. That, like, it was incredible to see, man. And I got Winter Kills, and I really like that album too. That, if you have not picked it up, it's a great Devil Driver album, and it's worth picking up.
Oh yeah, I was checking it. That came out 2013. Yeah. But I want to talk about some influence on my guitar player too, because I've been talking about just like what I like, but my guitar player's into like thrash stuff too. You know, he's like a huge Anthrax, you know, Exodus, you know, obviously Slayer.
Nice.
he's into that kind of stuff, and
Nice.
yeah, yeah. No, the reason I was talking about like my genre, I also wanted to say, we're big fans of that stuff too. My guitar player loves Static X. My guitar player also is a huge fan of West Borland.
Oh, really?
He loves West. Yeah, he's a big West Borland fan. Like that's what he likes, and he loves Megadeth and
I'm pretty sure that the almighty Pantera is going to be in there too. Like,
oh, dude, of course. I mean, you can't call yourself a metalhead if you don't like Pantera. You know what I mean? If someone told me they don't like Pantera, they just need to go home, go to bed, and reevaluate their life. You know what I mean?
Man. Pantera is actually, Vinnie Paul's the one that got me into playing the drums, and Vinnie Paul's the one, like, for a long time, anything he said was like gospel to me. I mean, I was a kid, like, I didn't know better, but like, that's Vinnie Paul's like what I aspired to be for a very long time, and that's where I got my groove from. Like,
right.
Like,
okay, so I was just going to ask you that earlier. You play drums then, right?
Yeah, I play drums. It wasn't until about 2012 I picked up a guitar, and I built the studio, and I was like, I can't find anybody that's legitimately wanting to do what I want to do, and that's
right.
just. It's not really like I would love to dabble in the synth like you're doing and everything, but for me it's just like that like the Megadeth or the Metallica or the Pantera, just that really like driving metal. That stuff
right.
where you can just sit back, even if you close your eyes, you're just banging your head and you're like, this is good, man. This right here's got that. That's what I want to try to do, man. And so I decided.
I feel you, man.
Yeah, man. I decided to build the studio, and I've been writing like the first couple records. I'm gonna admit I was just trying to find what I was doing. I put songs together. I know how to put songs together, but like I've never actually played guitar to a capacity to where I'm trying to write. So. Yeah, this third one that I'm working on, I kind of took a little bit of time, and I've reevaluated everything, and I'm trying to make a good record, something that I can look back and be like, that was where I started coming into my own. And
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
What you got to do, man, just practice. That's what I do. I don't really do anything. When I'm not working and I get home, I'm always doing something. Musically, if it's reading about a compressor. Or reading a manual on an SSL console, or finishing up a mix, or whatever it is. I'm always doing something. I'm not married or anything, so it always helps. But that's what I do. Just master your craft. Especially if you want to put quality stuff out, and like right now we're trying to figure out our life situation. You know what I mean? Like how we're gonna jam it out live,
Yeah.
With all the synths and stuff, which is gonna work out. We just gotta rehearse too. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. So you've been talking about your home studio and everything, and you're working on this in your home studio.
Right.
We've talked about guerrilla promotion and everything. I think the DIY approach is going to be what carries music forward. And I will fight tooth and nail to make my point, because I think that is what musicians should have been doing all along. Like, labels, they are just basically, they're dead. And it's terrible to say that.
Well, yeah. The thing about it too, bro, is, the reason why most of it's like that is for a couple of things. Obviously the MP3 movement has hurt the music industry. And technology. Every Macintosh laptop, notebook comes with a GarageBand or Logic. So
yeah.
Everybody wants to be a producer, and everybody wants to be a songwriter, but no one wants to take the time and do the work. And like learn, what does that compressor actually do? What does that EQ do? What is a filter? People don't learn those things, and they put their stuff out, and it sounds like which I'm not thrashing people, but if you're going to put something out with your name, I believe it should be the best of your capabilities. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely understand. And being in the home studio, it's great because you can actually sit down and be like, okay, there's no time limits. It's just me and this equipment, and this is going to be what I do. And you don't have to worry about paying hourly rates like that right there. That's just outrageous.
No, definitely. And back to the thing I was talking about is, with the technology, with GarageBand or whatever, that's what whatever people use, whatever DAW they use. It kind of it hurt everything. You know what I mean? And it made everything's not feasible like it used to be. You know what I mean? That's why things are the way they are.
Yeah, man.
That's why a lot of studios go out of business, because you see all these analog studios going out of business because everybody's recording at their home, making a record, which is not a bad thing. It has its it's two-sided sword, but
yeah, it's a funny thing because what you're saying, everybody wants to be a producer, everybody wants to make music, but at some point it kind of bogs everything down. And it makes it really difficult for people that have put in that time and the effort to actually be heard. And it's a weird, like, paradox that we're going through right now. But I do truly believe that the DIY musician will carry us forward. So your home studio, like, how did that come about? Was it just necessity, or did you finally just say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to make music myself.
Well, I mean, I've always, recorded music, and, I've been a musician for many, many years and played hundreds and hundreds of shows live and everything. And, I got to a point where I was just like, you know what, I want to start recording my own stuff. I want to start recording other people's stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, I started piecing out my studio about 5 years ago. You know what I mean? I moved to the East Coast. I was actually living in the Bay Area, and I was in another band, and we kind of parted ways a little bit. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to move to the East Coast, and I'm just going to work and buy gear and learn master my stuff. And I just went there, and I bought, started piecing out my, what DAW. I decided what DAW I want to use. A lot of people use Pro Tools, and I decided to use Cubase. I think Cubase is a great, DAW. I mean, there's a lot of other great stuff too. Logic's cool. If you're a Mac user, Logic's great. But I prefer Cubase because it's very versatile. You can do anything with it. Which you can't do with any other DAW. But that's the one I stuck with. Then I think my first synth that I bought was a Roland D50. A great synth.
Nice.
And then all my modular stuff I get from Analog Solutions. It's all modular. I have a Korg MS2000, which is really great. That's what I use all the stuff I'm going to play live with.
Nice.
I mean, I have a lot of stuff, and the next interface that I'm trying to get is going to be the Universal Audio Apollo. That's the one that I'm trying to get right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know if you have you checked that out yet?
No, actually, I started with a 2-channel PreSonus audio box. It was $150. That's what started this whole little journey. And yeah, for my DAW, I use Studio One, and if you have not used it, I highly suggest at least trying the free version, because that DAW is incredible. The mastering suite just makes everything so much better. But yeah, my goal is to actually be able to record live drums. Right now, my drums are electronic, and I have to transfer the MIDI over. And I just found out after 3 years of how to do that. So, yeah, I don't really have... I'm just keeping it small right now until I can actually expand and do the drums the way I want.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're jamming on a electronic kit right now?
Yeah, a Simmons SD9K. I walked into Guitar Center, it was like $999, and I was like, here, take the money. It was the biggest one, and I was like, if I'm going to do this, I want it to be as close to my acoustic set as possible. And like the main thing was it was the only one that had extra inputs, because at the time I had 2 crashes, 2 chinas, 2 rides, a splash, a bell, I had the whole gamut, and like I just told them, I was like, I need extra inputs, and they showed me, they gave it to me, and it's been working ever since. So it's nice.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah, and it's really fun to be able to go through and like have like the 808 kits in there and be able to play them like a drum set. Like, I don't know the first thing about that kind of stuff, but it's really fun to try to experiment with sounds and everything like that on an off day.
Oh yeah, dude, it's especially the electronic kit samples so much. Dude, I can email you a bunch of drum samples, dude. If you want.
Oh.
I got so much cool stuff, bro. Especially if you have, if you're running MIDI, bro, with drum pads.
See, that's the thing is I found out, I just mapped it out, so now I know which trigger goes to which, drum and everything like that. And now my thing is I need to find a free like VST to actually make the drums sound decent. Because I don't have the money right now to get Superior Drummer or Addictive Drummer or anything like that. If you have drum samples that sound decent as metal drums, I would be so happy to get them and hear them and be able to use them. I would really appreciate that.
Oh yeah, dude. If you have a drum brain, dude, I can send you some cool kicks, like some heavy 808 kicks, or what, get you a nice tight, double kick sound or bass drum, and I can email you those samples, no problem, bro.
Oh, nice, man. Thank you very much. Like,
yeah.
That's awesome of you, brother. So we're coming up on the 52-minute mark here. Usually about an hour we cut everything off and we end the interview. Is there anything that you want to say specifically in this ending that you really want to say? I'm sorry.
Yeah, what I want to say, I noticed in your podcast that you don't have an intro song to your podcast.
I actually do the intro song. You? Yeah, I decided to be different. There's like the talking in the intro, and then there's a song before the interview. I decided to do that like intentionally because it was different. I hadn't actually heard somebody doing that, but yeah. Do you have a suggestion?
Well, yeah, no, I was going to see if you needed something cool, man. We could record you something for, if you wanted to use it for a couple shows or something, for the intro to your show, just a custom.
Dude, if you want to do that,
Local Music Revolution intro for your show, man. I'll be gladly to record something, just something, 15 seconds long,
Dude, if you want to do that, I will be more than willing. I will say the name of your band and your project and your album at the beginning of every show. If you want to do that, then I will do whatever I can to promote you guys even further than I usually do, just to make sure that people know that you guys were awesome and did that for me.
Yeah, man, totally. I'm totally down, dude. I'll hook you up with some cool, like, some heavy shit, dude, at the beginning of your show where it's, like, brutal. You know what I mean?
Nice, man. Hey, speaking of that, but I know where I'm supposed to wrap up, but being that you are the recording aficionado that you are, do you remember in the beginning when I asked you to say this is the local music revolution? Okay. The idea I was listening to Queensryche's Operation Mindcrime, and it was the live version that they put out in, I believe, 88. The thing is, with that, at the very end of the set, they go back into the intro, and at the end, they say revolution, and it's all distorted, and it's really, really, like, that vocal line right there is what I want to do. So I had an idea of putting, like, an intro together, a sort of intro or an outro that would be like everybody I've interviewed saying this is the local music revolution, this is, and then kind of build it up to saying revolution in that distorted, nasty tone.
That's awesome.
Thank you. If you can you look up, it's Operation Live Crime. It's at the very, very end of the set. If you can you look that up? And if you can, give me pointers on how to create that sound.
Oh yeah, dude, for sure.
Like that right there, that's something that I've been trying to figure out for like the last 3 weeks, and I haven't been able to figure out how. I don't even know what question to ask. Like, I don't know how they distorted it, but I would really like something similar to that.
Yeah, dude, I mean, if you need help with that, dude, I can totally help you out with that, brother.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
No problem, man. Anytime you ever need anything, man, you can just always call or email me, man, and I could help you out, brother.
Dude, you're awesome. I can't thank you enough, man. So let's get back to you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I tangent off there again.
Thank you for having me on the show, bro. I appreciate it.
No worries, man. I seriously thought people need to hear you. And that's why I do this, is because people need to hear good music. And I've really, really enjoyed listening to your song. Like, that song is on my phone. Like, right now, it's on the player queued up to actually play when I get off of this. I was listening to it before I called you. I'm going to listen to it after this ends. I'm really, really a huge fan of what you guys are doing, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys have done in the album.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Before you go, is it a full album or is it an EP?
It's an EP.
Okay.
Basically, it's probably going to be there's 6 songs.
Okay.
So, it's not a full length. We're just kind of, right now, basically, Silo Cell is just, you know, we planted the seed, you know, like right now we're planting the seed, and we're just going to let it grow, you know, like we're going to release the record, and we're getting all of our stuff geared up so we can go out and start playing shows, you know, which I'm really excited about, you know, and get it out there, and then hopefully we get a good response, and have kids come out to the show and rock out, you know.
Well, man, if talking to you about the band is any indication, this is going to be a great adventure for you and Mike. And I really, really am excited that you allowed me to be a small part of what you guys are doing. Before we get going, how can people reach you, and how can people hear the song Slit?
Okay. Yeah, you can go to Reverb Nation, Silo Cell. We have a song on there. You can also go to our webpage, which is www.silocell.com.
Nice.
And if you need to contact us, you can reach us at info@silocell.com is our email address.
Nice.
And, yeah.
All right, man. So here's the deal. Before we say the goodbyes, just stay on the line afterwards so that we can wrap up.
Sure.
Okay?
No problem, brother.
All right, man. So we've heard how you recorded. We've heard how you do your thing. And we've heard how to contact you. Is there any last words before we wrap up?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, stay metal, man. Stay metal. And stay true to who you are as a person. You know, never, you know, try to be someone that you're not, or never think that you should be somebody. Just go with your gut and do what you want, you know?
Yeah, man. That's
all I can say.
Those are great words, man. And that is what it is to be a metalhead, to be yourself, and to give the middle finger to everybody that wants to change you.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
All right, man. Thank you so much for being on the show. I truly appreciate you allowing me to question you about your project. And I really, really hope to hear from you soon, man.
Oh, no, for sure, brother.
All right, man. You have a wonderful night.
You too, man. Take care.
And that was Silo Cell. So, you heard the discussion. You heard how I got the new intro music. Ben has been fantastic. About a month after this interview, he sent me a cover of 9 Inch Nails. I forgot what song. It's in my email. I can't feature it because we don't have the information from 9 Inch Nails, but it was a great cover, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear the rest of what they have. I can't wait myself to hear the rest of what they have. And I'm just truly happy to have had Ben and his band featured on this podcast. I have talked to Ben recently, and he told me that the album is all but finished. They've hit a few snags. I'm not sure what that means. I didn't want to pry, but hopefully that comes out soon because I'm really, really hoping to hear it, and I cannot wait to hear what they've come up with. If it's anything close to Slit, I will be truly truly happy to hear that. You can find Silocell at silocell.com, or you can find them on Facebook. Just look up Silocell. As for the podcast, you know the deal. I love hearing about what you guys think about the podcast. You can contact me, facebook.com/thelocalmusicrevolution, on Twitter at TLMR Podcast, on Instagram at The Local Music Revolution. There are always new updates coming through, but they're always posted on WordPress first. So go to thelocalmusicrevolution.wordpress.com and you can find out all of that information as updates come through. You want to hear past and future episodes of The Local Music Revolution? All you have to do is go onto the podcast portion of iTunes and look up The Local Music Revolution. Once you hit enter, we will pop up. All of the episodes that we currently have will be part of that search. And by subscribing, you will get information on all new episodes, and I believe they will initiate downloading themselves. If you are an Android user, such as myself, because Android is awesome, guys. It truly is. You can go download the Stitcher app from the Android store. Then go sign up for Stitcher. All you have to do, use your email, your Facebook, I believe your Twitter or Google Plus or something like that. And then all you have to do is search The Local Music Revolution. As with iTunes, all of the current episodes that have been put out will be on that list. You can go through. There is now over 30 episodes that you can listen to. They're all over an hour long, and they're all amazing, from local artists that have not been signed yet, but they truly need to be heard. As time permits, I'm also working on getting all of the interviews onto YouTube. It takes about 10 hours per episode, so it takes me a while to get new ones up there because I don't really have the time to do 10 hours straight of one episode. But as time allows me, I'll get those up there, and they will be re-promoted as they are put up there. All you have to do is search The Local Music Revolution in YouTube. It will come up. There is a playlist of all of the episodes that are current. Plus, you can subscribe to The Local Music Revolution YouTube, and you can get all of the new updates and stream the podcast that way too. I can't do this without the listeners, the bands, and also I can't do this without the wonderful support of companies that think that this podcast is something that they can get behind. That's what Stringdoor does. They back me 100%. I am truly proud to have the podcast backed by this company. They are wonderful at what they do. They make you custom string sets. If you're not familiar with that, guitarists, bassists, acoustic guitarists, whatever you guys do, if you're looking for strings, Stringjoy is the way to go. You can get tension-based sets or you can get customized sets. Either way, Stringjoy will work with you to make sure that you have the best strings that you possibly can. Once you've picked out the set of strings that you want, go to checkout, and when you're there, enter the promo code LOCAL, LOCAL, and you will get a discount for being an amazing listener of The Local Music Revolution. As always, I'm always looking for bands and artists and companies to feature on this podcast. I really love meeting all these people. All of these experiences and all these different ways of doing things have been amazing to hear, and I'm really, really looking forward to showing you guys all of the artists that I've interviewed so far. If you are an artist that's interested in being interviewed, all you have to do is go to thelocalmusicrevolution.wordpress.com. There is an interview sign-up sheet there on that website. All you have to do is click on it, fill out the basic information for your artist or your company, and then send it off. I will get back to you, and when that will initiate the whole interview process. We'll book an interview, and we'll record it, and then we'll set a release date for that interview. Next Thursday, I will have a local band out of Fresno, California called Map the Universe. The great thing about this interview is it's one of the first that they've done, and will also feature 2 songs that have not been released to the public yet. So that is a very exciting episode. Please tune in. Map the Universe is extremely great. All of the members are just great guys to talk to, and they love music and they love what they're doing. It's very exciting to see what they're doing. So tune in next week and you'll hear Map the Universe. Until then, This is the Local Music Revolution. I am Ogre. You are very, very awesome. Thank you guys for listening. Until next time, take care and be good, everyone. This is the Local Music Revolution. The Local Music Revolution. 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 Local Music Revolution.